Let us pray that we all may work together for the betterment of our city, respecting each other's perspectives and striving for fairness. Let us seek wisdom and understanding as we make decisions that will impact all residents. Let us pray for our city to have compassion and unity for all well-being. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We'll now call the Wheeling City Council meeting of July 1, 2025 to order and ask the clerk to call the roll.
Mr. Acero?
Here.
Ms. Kane?
Here.
Mayor Magruder?
Here,
Mr. Palmer?
Here.
Mr. Seiler?
Here.
Mr. Sklavonakis? And Mr. Thorngate?
Here.
Quorum is present.
thank you. We have the minutes of the June 17 City Council meeting. Is there a motion to accept?
Make a motion, we accept the minutes as received.
Second.
Any additions or changes? If not, I'll ask all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? And that motion is approved. And now we have the mayor's report. I got a couple brief things tonight. First and foremost, I wanted to mention that this past Saturday night, Wheeling Hall of Fame Commission had their Hall of Fame induction banquet, and they inducted 12 additional citizens or residents of Wheeling into that body. And I want to take this opportunity to at least salute Chairman Bob DeFrancis and his committee for an absolutely amazing job. It was a great banquet, well done. So something we can be really, really proud of. The other thing that I would note quickly is that, with all this gone on, Friday is the city-sponsored Wheeling Symphony 4th of July fireworks and concert on the waterfront. I would encourage folks to kind of come out and maybe a little bit of time of healing, the time for all those that have been working so hard to get together and enjoy it. And then thirdly, as we all know, last Thursday night, we had another flood. We're getting pretty used to that. But I want to take this opportunity once again to particularly thank the first responders and the city operations department. They have been working tirelessly now for 2 weeks, overtime, Saturdays. They've done an amazing job. And I just want to make sure that they understand the sanitation department, operations department, city administration, the amazing work that they've done for our citizens. So on behalf of the citizens and council, thank you very much. That basically concludes my mayor's report for tonight. We have the clerk's report.
There is a notice of application to operate a private club, 680 National Road, K Investment Cafe LLC, doing business as Perkins Restaurant and Bakery. And that concludes clerk's report.
Thank you. Unfinished business.
An ordinance authorizing the city manager to expend funds in the amount of $27,000 with Centrus of Kenosha, Wisconsin, for purchase of rental services for centrifuge to be charged to water pollution control.
I'll move to adopt the ordinance.
I'll second.
Is there any discussion? Hearing none, I'm going to ask you to please record your votes. That motion's approved.
An ordinance authorizing the city manager to expend funds in the amount of $70,000 with Wheeling Symphony of Wheeling, West Virginia, for city share of firework display, $35,000 to be charged to city manager, $25,000 charged to Cole Severance, and $10,000 to the general fund.
Move for adoption of the ordinance.
Second.
Any comments or discussion? If not, please record your votes. Motion approved.
An ordinance authorizing the city manager to expend funds in the amount of $253,184 to Polydyne Inc. of Riceboro, Georgia, for the purchase of polymer to be charged to Water Pollution Control Division.
Move for adoption of the ordinance. Second.
Is there any discussion? If not, please record your votes. That motion's approved.
An ordinance authorizing the city manager to expend funds in the amount of $150,150 to Bonded Chemical of Columbus, Ohio, for the purchase of sodium hypochlorite to be charged to Water Pollution Control Division.
Move to adopt the ordinance.
I'll second.
Any questions or discussion? Hearing none, please record your vote. Motion approved.
An ordinance authorizing the city manager to expend funds in the amount of $46,250 with PVS Knollwood of Weirton, West Virginia, for the purchase of sodium bisulfite to be charged to Water Pollution Control Division.
Move for adoption of the ordinance.
I second.
Any discussion? Please record your votes. That motion's approved.
An ordinance authorizing the city manager to expend funds in the amount of $16,500 with Northern Panhandle Conservation District of McMecken, West Virginia for the purchase of fiscal year 2026 operation and maintenance funds for Wheeling Creek structure, $15,000 to be charged to capital contributions, and $1,500 to co-severance.
Move for adoption of the ordinance.
Second.
Do we have any discussion? Please record your vote. That motion's approved.
An ordinance authorizing the city manager to expend funds in the amount of $36,021 with Mid-Atlantic Storage Systems, Inc. of Washington Courthouse, Ohio for Mount Wood Water Tank Number 2 and Clater Water Tank maintenance to be charged to Water Department.
Move to adopt the ordinance.
I'll second.
Do we have any discussion? Hearing none again, please record your votes. Motion approved.
An ordinance authorizing the city manager to expend funds in the amount of $44,508 with Mid-Atlantic Storage Systems, Inc. of Washington Courthouse, Ohio for Mount Wood Water Tank Number 1 and Number 3 maintenance to be charged to the Water Department.
Move for adoption of the ordinance.
I'll second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, please record your vote. Motion approved.
An ordinance authorizing the city manager to expend funds in the amount of $35,800 to Waller Corporation of Washington, Pennsylvania for extension to contract for exterior door and concrete pad at Wheeling Police Department to be charged to the city service fee.
Move for adoption of the ordinance.
A second.
I don't know if there's discussion. I think Mr. Herron, you have a comment on that?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. A real quick comment on that. The amount on this ordinance is $35,800. The previous amount was $34,800. The contractor omitted a lighting package out over the door. So the actual cost of this project is increased by $1,000 to include lighting so that the door into the booking area is lit.
Any questions or comments, discussion? If not, please record your votes. Motion approved.
An ordinance authorizing the city manager to expend funds in the amount of $21,630 with Safeware, Inc. of Lanham, Maryland for helmets, face shields, and helmet bags for the police department to be charged to the 2022 JAG grant and police department.
Move to adopt the ordinance.
I'll second.
Do we have any discussion? Again, hearing none, I ask you to record your vote. Motion approved.
An ordinance to amend and reenact Article 903.09 entitled Private Outdoor Designated Areas in the City of Wheeling, West Virginia to amend operating times on Fridays.
Move for adoption of the ordinance.
Second.
Any questions?
Yeah, a couple of weeks back, had some businesses reach out and saying, POTA's been great, but we're some missed opportunities on Fridays with our start time. So originally, the way the ordinance was written, it was going to have the start at 12 p.m. But after talking with those businesses again, we felt like for consistency's sake, it might be better just to match the hours we're going to have for Saturday, Sunday. So I'm going to I've offered an amendment to change it to 10 a.m. start time for Friday. So that way we'd have Monday through Thursday hours, and then Friday, Saturday, Sunday would have their own hours.
Thank you. Any further discussion, questions? Hearing none, I ask you to please record your votes. That motion's approved.
That concludes unfinished business.
Thank you. We do have a couple items that have been held over from the last meeting, the Planning Commission minutes of May 12, 2025, and the Planning Commission report to City Council from June 9, 2025. Is there a motion to accept those?
Make that motion.
A second.
Any discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? And those are approved. At this point, we have remarks from City Council. I'm going to ask Councilor Dave Palmer to start that tonight.
Thank you, Mayor. I want to reiterate your thank you to all of the city departments, everyone that's been involved, working tirelessly. Everything is appreciated. It goes noted. I did have a conversation with some of the firefighters the other day, and they just talk about one source of information, so we can get one source so we don't get any misinformation out there. So that's something that they've looked at already to see if, God forbid this happens in the future, something that we could do better. So what I'm trying to point out is they're always trying to learn from everything that they do. And I think every department has done the same. police, fire, operations, sanitation, everyone in the building. So thank you. And I just wanted to clarify one thing on the symphony on July 4th. Mary, do I understand there's a guest conductor? Is there a guest conductor? Okay, very good.
Yep.
Looking forward to that. That's all I have, Mayor. Thank you.
I'd like to welcome Tom Hoffman, the council member of the town of Philadelphia, and Mary Ann Hess, the recorder, to our meeting tonight. And I would like to yield my time for them to speak to us.
Thank you, Councilman Sarah, and thank you, City Council and Mayor, for letting me come and speak tonight. I'd like to thank the community in a whole before I get started. The individuals that just came out and helped in Philadelphia with the flood, and people from different states and the communities, and it was overwhelming. I mean, people, the restaurants that made food, the donations of just individuals, not anybody, but just going to the Highlands and buying stuff and bringing boots and shoes and clothes. It was overwhelming. It's a cliche, but it restored my faith in people and the goodness that there is out there. I'd just like to talk about the disaster we had. It wasn't a flood. A flood's a couple feet of water. I mean, what we had was a natural disaster. It was a devastating, life-changing event that I hope we never see again. I don't know if anybody on council, I'm 61, I've never seen anything like that. The magnitude of the devastation is the homes are gone. The ones that are there are damaged severely. So I'm here to ask council tonight to please help us with the water bill. A lot of the homes, we couldn't get to the water. We couldn't turn it off. Some of them, we didn't even know the water was running. Others, the water was used for just cleanup to unclog sewers. I personally was able to get, after a truck went through my house, I was able to get the water rerouted so that I could use my hose, and my neighbors use that to clean up with. I know we've gone through some bills already, and one resident that doesn't have a home anymore, their water bill will be $1,800. They don't have a home to go to, and we're not financially able to foot the bill for them. The bill's going to be pretty high. The overage, not the regular bill. The regular bill we have no problem with, but just the revenue that it's going to come to pay for all that. I mean, would you pay for a water bill for $1,800 and you're probably not going to come back? I don't know. We've used the water for water trucks. We use water to. We've had out of state people come in and fill up their tanks and go power wash people's houses. The water usage is going to be pretty high. And it wasn't any fault. It wasn't misused. It wasn't mishandled. But we're asking council to please help us with the overage. We definitely need that financial help. The water department itself has lost everything. We lost our trucks, our equipment. We're really overwhelmed with the amount of work that has to be done. We only have a crew of two guys, and we don't have. Well, we did get some equipment donated, but that's going to be taken away soon. The most important thing I wanted to ask the council for, if there was any way we could have a loan of a dump truck and a Bobcat. That's probably a question for Bob. Maybe we could get together later and talk about that. But the most important thing right now financially for the town is we need help with the water bill. We know that you're not exactly millionaires in this town, city, but we really need the help financially with the water bill, especially the overage. We figured out we're probably going to lose 15 to 20% of our revenue because people aren't going to be coming back. People can't go back to their apartments. I don't really know what else to say. We're at your mercy, really, to help us with this water bill. I thank Tony for his time. Marion, do you have anything?
I just would appreciate consider with the overage. It was a natural disaster. We would appreciate.
Thank you both. And I'd make one comment for the audience and for all those listening. The reason they're addressing us tonight is the City of Wheeling's water system services Triadelphia and Valley Grove. So we, the city, sell them water on a regular basis. That's why they're here. At this point, I'd like to turn this over to Mr. Herron and see if he has any comments.
Yes, so we've had issues in the past during natural disasters regarding water and sewer. We are a regulated utility, but what I would like to do is sit down with you and kind of go over your thoughts and what the bills are once we receive them. And then as long as we have the authority to do it, we can hopefully negotiate a favorable adjustment. I don't have any problem doing that, but I will say that there in previous cases where I've been involved, where we have made adjustments, there have been issues where the Public Service Commission has stepped in.
Yes.
So, and one of those involved Triadelphia.
Sure, we understood that. You took care of the bill, sort of to speak, and then later on, the Public Service decided that they couldn't do that, and then you had to rebill us. And
Right.
we're hoping, we understand. I was explaining that there's a process, and
Yeah.
We're hoping that we can appeal to their good heart, to
Yeah,
to the
absolutely.
natural. Like I said, this wasn't a flood.
Right.
You don't lose 9 lives in a couple of miles, and people don't lose their homes as many as that we've lost. It was definitely
Well,
life
I think
changing.
if we go into the discussion knowing that eventually the Public Service Commission may or may not, stamp it, I think we can come to a pretty good conclusion.
We would appreciate any help.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I didn't want to, sorry, I said Triadelphia, but I mean Valley Grove as well.
Okay.
Thank you.
But thank you, and know that our thoughts and prayers of the city are certainly with our neighbors in Philadelphia and Valley Grove. And this has been a real case of unity where we've all worked closely together.
And I did want to say, though I live in Triadelphia, when people ask me where I'm from, I always say Wheeling. And then I say, I live in Triadelphia, but I'm from Wheeling. So this has been my hometown since I was a young boy. I was born and raised here. And I think of Wheeling as one big place, not just individuals. But thank you.
Thank you so
Well,
very
our
much.
hearts really go out to you guys, and we appreciate all of your, public service throughout this, and obviously you're affected yourself, but also taking care of the community at the same time. Our hearts go out.
Well, thank you.
Councilman Sarah, we're back to allow you to finish your comments, sir.
Other than, Tom will do everything we can. That's it.
Nothing tonight, Mayor.
This message is from several people that have been affected out there in Triadelphia. Their gratitude for all the volunteers, the police department, the fire department, the governor who came up immediately and was here several times. They are very grateful for the help that the people and the volunteers in the community has surrounded them. And even though some of them lost their homes, they still have their lives. And the people, they can't thank you enough. And they wanted me to relay a message that, they're forever grateful. One of them, they can't come back over to their home, but they're in the process of trying. She had cerebral palsy. The water swept her out in her chair and she went under. She thought she was dying. And she got saved by the neighbors who lost their stuff. But the community came together. Everybody's out there volunteering and they are very thankful. That's all.
Yeah, the 87th annual Dimmy Dale 4th of July celebration will be this Friday. Lineup begins at 10 a.m. We'll start at 10:30. We have a parade through the neighborhood that ends at our shelter and baseball fields, where we'll have live music, we'll have a cookout. And I believe this is the oldest 4th of July parade celebration in the city. So, honored to be a part of it. And I invite all of you to come down and partake with us. And then on the other side, I want to congratulate, happy anniversary to my buddy here, Councilman Palmer. This is our 10th year on city council. 10 years ago, I think we were a little lighter. a little less gray. I know me especially, but it's been an honor and proud to serve with you, bud.
Thanks to both of you, gentlemen. One thing I want to add very quickly, though, I should have put this out during the mayor's report. Please note, this is a note for all residents that have been affected by flooding. They can go to, I'm going to give you a website they can go to for all the help. They can find information on all aspects of flood assistance. That website is ovflood.org. ovflood.org. All right, thank you for that. Now we'll move on here to the report of other committees, and we do have a Finance Committee minutes from June 17th. Is there a motion to accept those?
So moved.
Any discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, and that motion's approved. And now I'd ask Mr. Herron to give us the city manager's report, please.
Thank you, Mayor. Excuse me. I'd also like to recognize Bill Lanham, our Assistant City Manager, as well as the Operations Department, in coordination with West Virginia Department of Highways, for their response last week to the unexpected flash flooding that occurred here in the city of Wheeling. We talked about, the horrible disaster in Triadelphia and Valley Grove and parts of Elm Grove, and then to have that happen again, not nearly at that level, obviously, but to have to respond to unexpected flooding. The departments and divisions, and Bill particularly, did an excellent job of jumping on that right away, and cleanup continues to this day, but we're making significant progress. Also, under original propositions, item number 3 is a bond anticipation. Item number 1 is a bond anticipation note. And this is a interim financing for engineering for phase 4 of the long-term control plan improvements. Digester cleaning, which is desperately needed at the wastewater treatment plant. Part of the smell issue that we're managing at the plant is because the digesters are full. Once they're cleaned out, there are going to be significant repairs that are going to be needed on those digesters. This would help fund that project. And then the centrifuge replacement will occur as well. Council, even this evening, had a monthly rental cost on the centrifuges. We will be replacing those with this bond anticipation note as well. At this point, it does not require a rate increase, but as council knows, we're going to be discussing phase 4 improvements in the wastewater or water pollution control department. So this would be rolled into any future rate increase that may occur as a result of those discussions. Also, today is the first day of the new fiscal year. So yesterday was the last day of the previous one, and our cash balance in the general fund ended up at $368,000. So I'd like to congratulate Mr. Green as well as John Collier for both of their efforts in working together in the finance department and getting us to that point. We had a huge payroll, the last payroll of the fiscal year, because of the flooding. And we still were able to finish the year in the black. So we're very pleased with that. Also, the Elm Run Stormwater Management Project, which comes into focus now mainly because of what's occurred in the past, but also what happened last week with the flash flooding. But the city requested and received an earmark or congressionally directed spending allocation of $521,000 to conduct engineering for the Elm Run Stormwater Management Project area, which was established by the Army Corps of Engineers in a study that was done about 4 or 5 years ago. The total engineering on that is $695,000. The earmark or congressionally directed spending allocation was $521,000. The city matched that at $174,000. That project is 33% complete on design. I think the last time I reported it was at 27%. The city is not running this project. It is a earmark that went to the Army Corps of Engineers. They've done the procurement. They're managing the engineering firm, but they are making progress slowly but surely. At the end of the day, this engineering study will produce a project that we be presented to City Council for your consideration that hopefully will deal with the various aspects associated with the Elm Run watershed area that extends all the way into Ohio County. So that project, I don't want anybody to forget that project was funded and that there is significant work being done to try to come up with a construction project that would deal with some of the flooding that occurs off of Elm Run. Also, the fire headquarter project is moving along nicely. It is substantially complete. We're at the point now where we're going to be developing punch list items over the next couple of weeks. Furniture, bedding, lockers, et cetera, are being assembled and moved into the building. We hope to have the fire department in that building by the end of July or first couple of weeks of August. So we're pleased with the progress there. We will schedule a open house for the community to take a look at the building once we're at a point where we can open it up and the department is in there. But one of the things I'd also like to mention that shouldn't be forgotten is the role that the Armory property has played, not only in the fire headquarter project and the fact that we were able to move our administrative staff there and use that property, but also in the flood relief efforts that have occurred, beginning the middle of last month to continuing to this day. And I'd like to reach out or shout out and recognize Senator Capito for her efforts to include the transfer of that property to the city of Wheeling in the Defense Authorization Bill of 2023 that President Biden signed in December of 2023. We don't own the property yet, but had that not been in that bill, we probably would not have been able to use it on a temporary basis. So again, I'd like to recognize her and her efforts. We don't own it. There's still a process yet to have that transferred to the city, but the fact we've been able to use it has really been a beneficial aspect to our first responders ever since we took temporary possession of the property about 9 months ago. So that's my report, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Herron. We now have report of other officers, and we do have an item. We have the Recreation Commission minutes from March 25 of 2025. Is there a motion to hold those over, maybe?
I'll move to hold those over.
I'll second.
Any discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And those opposed? The motion approved. Petitions of redress or grievance.
There are none.
Petitions of all other kinds.
There are none.
Original propositions.
An ordinance authorizing the design, acquisition, and construction of improvements and extensions to the sewerage portion of the existing public combined waterworks and sewerage system and temporarily financing of the cost thereof, not otherwise provided, and paying cost of issuance and related costs through the issuance of the combined waterworks and sewerage system bond anticipation notes, Series 2025 of the City of Wheeling, in the aggregate principal amount of not more than $6 million, providing for the rights and remedies of and the security for the registered owner of such notes, authorizing the execution and delivery of a tax certificate, request for proposals, and other documents, authorizing the sale and providing for the terms and provisions of such notes, and adopting other provisions relating thereto. An ordinance authorizing the city manager to expend funds in the amount of $16,000 with Edgeco Inc. of Lansing, Ohio for emergency interceptor repair work to be charged Water Pollution Control Division. An ordinance authorizing the city manager to expend funds in the amount of $35,499 with Cast and Baker Corporation of Canonsburg, Pennsylvania for emergency pavement repair to Monroe Avenue to be charged to Water Department. A resolution of the Council of the City of Wheeling approving the fiscal year 2025 Community Development Block Grant and Home Investment Partnerships programs and authorizing the filing of the fiscal year 2025-2029 five-year consolidated plan and the fiscal year 2025 annual action plan with the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development.
Move to adopt the resolution.
I second.
Is there any discussion? If not, I'd ask all those in favor to please record your vote. That resolution's approved.
A resolution of the Council of the City of Wheeling approving amendments to the fiscal year 2025-2026 general fund budget.
Move for adoption of the resolution.
Any discussion? If not, again, please record your vote. The resolution is also approved.
That concludes original propositions.
Thank you. That brings us down to those wishing to be heard. And this evening, we have one guest, Owens Brown. Owens, our rule of process here is please come to the podium, state your name and address, and you'll have 3 weeks. 3 weeks. She's 3 minutes, Owens. I know you can do 3 weeks, but 3 minutes.
Owens Brown,